Yo, it's your boy KB. Thank you for tuning in. I think I think we may call these daily walks with KB. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I thought I would record this morning, going for a nice walk this morning. So I'm still in Sydney, headed to Melbourne, Australia next. How you doing, sir? Let me see, let you check out some of the view here before I get into the topic. Man, it's incredible. Let's see. That's the ferry. If you want to catch the ferry, get where you're going. Get some of this view, man. In the morning, before I left, I said I got to get this one more time. I need this one more time. But as I walk and talk, y'all, I'll share the harbor with y'all in a little bit. So, depending on how long this video, it's gonna take me about 15 minutes to get over there. So we'll see. I might create another one too. We'll see. But yeah, so what I'm gonna talk about today is don't let your race define you, or don't allow people to allow your race to define you. And my wife and I, we were talking yesterday, and somehow it came up, and I was just like, being Black, African American, all the things, right? Sometimes there's stereotypes that people automatically assume about you, in which I don't really care what people think about me. But my point of talking about this is, don't allow people to put you in a box, because you might be a very dynamic person, a very diverse person, a person of multiple interests, multiple talents, and that transcend your race. I'm pretty sure, I just don't like the identity politics and all those things. And just because you're Black, you have to think this way, or just because you're white, or all these labels, man. Don't let people put you in a box. And so let me make it real for you by sharing more about me and just my journey and my story. Born and raised in Gulfport, Mississippi. The first to do many things in my family. I'm proud of that. I'm Black. Hey, born in America. Come from a working class family. They work hard, kind of like blue collar. But just kind of speeding up what I was gonna get to was, just if you looked at my background and just me being Black and African American, you would assume some things about me, and you would be very wrong. But you might assume some things, and you might be right. But just sometimes I catch people off guard, which shouldn't be off guard. I am who I am. But I can tell when I'm talking to certain cultures, they assume certain things about me, and I just don't even relate to what they're saying, because that's not something of interest for me. For example, growing up, I was heavy into, rap and hip hop and all of that. I ain't really into that no more. I hadn't been into it for a very long time. But when I'm in certain community groups, and, instead of asking me, they assume. And so man, I know you heard that new such and such. And I'm like, who is that? I don't even know who that is, that particular artist. Don't get me wrong, I still like my Drake here and there. And, it's a couple artists I like. But I'm very into words. So, like the lyrics of the words. And so, if it got good lyrics, I listen beyond the beat. And so what I realized was, And this isn't an indictment on hip hop or anything like that, but what I realized was growing up as I was reflecting and journaling and just looking at my own experiences, some of the things that were glorified wasn't cool. And that's not, and it's beyond hip hop too, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about my journey, so I can only talk about what I experienced. So I don't want to talk theory. So, but for me, what I know is sometimes listening to the music, when you actually now listening to it as an adult, I'm like, man, that shit is toxic. That is toxic. Like womanizing, you know, blow it up, blow the bag. Like it was like the things that mattered in life. It just seems like it was in reverse. Like it was all the things that you need to make sure you make happen in life. Well, for a happy life and a successful life. Sometimes, the things that was glorified. It was like, man, if you live like that, it's gonna be rough for you, And when you speak, and like words have power, man, and that's why music is so powerful. But the great part, it's also a great uniter, because we was at a party last night, and we wasn't at a party, it was a boat party, and we was walking by the harbor. Oh, it's the harbor, that's the opera house. And so there was a boat party, and it was just loud, kind of techno music, just a big beat, and just seeing a whole bunch of people dancing. So it does bring people together. So, that's the thing too. But for me, I got to a point in life where a lot of the things that I listened to, like the hardcore raps, it didn't make me feel good anymore. I didn't like the way it made me felt when I listened to it. So, if I say that in black cultures, oh man, you lame and this and that, and it's like, all right, well, I'll be that. I'm okay with that. That's fine. This what's important to me. Do you? So that's one example. I don't really listen to rap like that. I don't. What I am into, hip hop. Not hip hop. Well, I'm into jazz. I'm into smooth jazz. I'm into funny enough, it's like even some good vibe pop song. I love some neo. I love my neo soul. Just good vibes, talking about love. Healthy stuff. Like just healthy, just good vibe stuff. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of the stuff, when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, man, that's kind of sad, whatever. And you don't have to be all deep with it all the time, so I'm not even saying that. But, like, I just know how it made me feel. And so that was a good measure for me. But anyway, that's just one example. Another example is I just started picking up other interests, things that just for wellness and you feel good, like yoga. I remember growing up, and black households, being Baptist, the Bible Belt. Shoot, hey man, you ain't over there doing no spells or nothing, or they thinking it's something crazy, and you're going against Jesus if you just doing yoga, and I'm like, man, it made me feel good. Like I didn't do yoga growing up, but now I just know then it was, it was kind of like taboo, like, ugh, no, you didn't do that. Would you over there devil worshiping or something? I'm like, man, so it's just crazy stuff like that. Love yoga, sound baths, things like that. And no, you're not in a tub with music. It's actual crystal bowls that helps you, that it just helps with your frequency, and it's actually very calming, to be honest with you. Very, very calming. You should try it. Sound baths. It's great. I learned that I really, really love the water. I love being by the water, like this right here. Like right this, let the sun rise. And I'm in by the botanical gardens as well. Shoot, man, they be here, over here. But yeah, so, sound baths, yoga. I realized I enjoyed botanical gardens. I enjoy that. Funny enough, Pilates. Pilates is cool, very humbling. You know, and it's kind of funny, like especially like if you lift heavy weights or you pump that iron in the gym, and then you get over there, go to that yoga. I'm not yoga, Pilates, and they telling you to put that 10 pound that 10-pound dumbbell. You're like, man, or like 7.5, whatever it is, and you're like, man, that's too light. I'm gonna get something heavy. Played yourself. Yeah, you about to suffer. Very humbling. Yeah, so you know, it's just, but those are the things that you wouldn't think, you know, and so you can't really put me in a box. Like, I'm one-on-one, you know. I used to be in the J's. I have 0 inches anymore. Matter of fact, I have some. I got them listed for sale. I don't even care, honestly. If I found someone that wore my size, I would give them away. It just interest change. No knock to J's. Even when I see people on, you know, I may joke with them and say, "Oh, I see you got the J's on, or the 3s or the 4s." So it's not even a judgment thing. It's just that chapter of my life is pretty much closed. You know, and I think it came from growing up wanting to have a lot of the pairs that I saw. You know, some of my friends, and they would have them, or if they weren't friends, I seen them having on them. I just always wanted them, and so that itch and scratch is gone. You know, did it, been there, done that, and so now what I like to do with shoes, I still like shoes, but when I travel, I like to go to wherever that country is and find something unique to them, and then get them. So I did that when we were in Japan. I'm looking in Australia, but I'm seeing a lot of just regular, you know, nothing unique. So it's like, I don't know if I'm gonna get anything here. We'll see. I'll keep looking. I'll see what they got in Melbourne. Yeah, but anyway, back on task. Another thing that you wouldn't necessarily know about me is your boy is into the coffee scene. So, you know, from espresso to macchiato to a cortado to a cappuccino to a latte, and I enjoy quality coffee, specialty coffees, not brand coffees where it tastes burnt and you put a lot of sugar in it, but where you can actually, you don't have to put the sugar in it, you don't have to put any sweetener in it, and the coffee is amazing. You know, but we all got our thing. You know, I like cigars here. You know, I like cigars here and there. Good quality cigar. So you just, as you evolve, you know, those are the things you enjoy. And it's so funny because people are like, oh man, I would have never suspected that. Yeah, well, I mean, it's my life and it's what I like. So I'm sure you got some things about you that you like. But the whole point of this, to land the plane, as they say, bring it home, is don't let people put you in a box. Don't be looking for acceptance from what other people. Be you. You're one of one. Be unique. Lean into that uniqueness. What I'm learning, because I'm in this group, honestly, man, that's your moat. That's your moat. Don't fit in. Don't fit in. Like, if you in a community, if you are in an environment where you just feel out of place, you're in the wrong environment, and that's okay. But don't dim your light. Don't change your uniqueness to accommodate and make someone else feel better. Oh, and another one. And I know, oh man, I might get canceled for this one. Another one. This one used to always irk me. Oh man, most people run away from this one.
500 US. Yeah.
A lot of people run away from this one. I think I'm gonna sit on this bench, man, for a second. It's kind of peaceful out here. Y'all get this greenery back here. But one of the things that that I used to always just be curious about, and because we didn't in regards to politics, like we didn't grow up in a political household, so but we they didn't really talk about it, but they did. I, it was pretty obvious that they did lean blue, even though they never really explained it. It just was kind of a you're black, so that's what you do, and that was never good enough for me. And it's because I was always like, well, why is it? And I wasn't even trying to go against the grain. I just was asking questions and curious, and or at least pondered to myself of like, well, why is that? It's two sides. Why is it only two sides? Where is another side? What if I don't like either side? So I just still have to be loyal to this one side that some things I'm noticing, and so we just gonna be blind to it. And how do we have our allegiance to that? Sometimes it seemed like above God, and so it was just like different question I had is like, man, some of the stuff they're doing, man, that's not of God. But when you read the word, you like, okay, well, say, you know, um, don't be in the world. You can be of the world, but not in the world. Be in the world, but of the world. I'm paraphrasing, but you get my point. Maybe. Um, like it just never made sense to me. Like I just don't know how sometimes you can make sense of these things, you know. Uh, and I realized that I'm different. Like I'm different, but we all different in our way. But like I'm like some things I just never sit well with me, and so I'll be around people and they're just like, I just never saw how you can be so angry at somebody you never met. Um, and it is weird. It has always been weird to me. Uh, but it is what it is. So, so when people are talking to me, people assume I think like you and I don't. I may not be thinking like you and you're assuming, and that's your bad. Because I'm like, oh, okay. And so sometimes I find myself around family, people, that you navigate around, and they're just assuming that you're thinking like them. And I'm like, and you can think how you think, but I'm gonna think how I think. But I realize that I'm the smaller percentage in the room, and so I just kind of keep it cool, low key, and that can be for either side, But I'm like, nah, I'm not. I don't really resonate with what you're saying, but and what I often think that the thing about it is having different perspectives is fine. It's not a big deal. But when you had a different perspective, you can almost get canceled, and like you ain't black if you're not blue, or and it's just weird stuff. I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what if I don't like what you're doing? What if I don't agree with what you're saying? And how could you be so bold to say something like, if you don't vote blue, you ain't black? Like, who are you? Whenever I've looked in your background and you've said some pretty disgusting things before. And so we're just going to pretend like that doesn't exist. And so I'm not a pretend like that doesn't exist person. I've never been that way. But I guess that's what makes me different in me. But I know I'm not the only one out there. Most people isolate and shy away from these things and just kind of have these thoughts and these feelings, but you don't want to be judged. And I get it. I've been there before. You just like kind of go along to get along. And my thing is, you're not even trying to go against the grain. Like, but the reason I'm even saying all this is you got to find your community that is going in the direction that you're going in, that won't shoot down your dreams when you share something that's important to you, that you want to do, that some goal that you want to pursue. Like, community is important. And like, don't let people put you in a box. You might need to go find another group that y'all don't even be thinking about boxes. Y'all are like it energizes you, it inspires you. And if you don't have that feeling, you just got to expand your circle. That don't mean cut nobody off. Don't be that person where you cutting everybody off just because you're awakening, and don't do that. We all go through that phase, but if you let me save you some time. Don't do that. Appreciate the people that's in your life, but then it's time to expand. Which, when you have other interests, go to those other interest groups, whether it be yoga, Pilates, coffee club, or people that just enjoy coffee, people that's into personal development, people that's about managing their finances, but not just survival, thriving. And so maybe that's a financial group, maybe that's an investment group. Maybe you're into traveling. Maybe you go to a traveling group. If it's cigar group. If you're into pickleball. If you're into basketball, whatever. So you get my point. So don't let people dim your light. Like I said, man. Right now, I'm Australia on the harbor. Taking this in before we catch our flight to Melbourne. And I thought I would record a quick, well, I said quick, it's 21 minutes now, so we gonna wrap it up. But don't let people put you in a box. Don't put yourself in a box. Hey, like I told y'all, I'm gonna take y'all on the journey. We just gonna document the journey, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But until the next video, hey, oh yeah, if you enjoying this and you like, man, that resonated with me, subscribe with your boy. I got a Patreon coming. It's coming. It's just gonna be like-minded people. We're gonna be talking about getting our money up and all of that. We'll probably read some books in there, and it's not gonna be crazy expensive. Just something where you got some skin in the game, because it is important to invest in yourself. I've always invested in myself. I'm in communities myself that I pay for, and so we want to keep the dusties out. But if you looking for some a community, you by yourself, you in isolation, you feel judged, you feel out of place, you feel like the outcast. You're not an outcast. You just hadn't found your tribe yet. You just hadn't found the people of like minds, the people that'll challenge you, the people that'll push you to be great, and people that'll see the best in you, people that's not necessarily looking for a fight, just to be just fighting for no reason, and you ain't really benefiting from it, and the media propaganda that got you all wrapped up in your emotions, because hey, and guess what, the marketing program, it worked. Who imagined? But that's for another video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.